Hi, Stan. Oh, thank you, Stan. I hope you guys have enjoyed the panel and engaging panel discussion. They've covered so many more topics, and there's more to come because I am here to welcome Mr. George Lee, the Chief Executive Officer of Innov8tif Solutions Sdn Bhd, the SOBA 2020's Platinum winner for Best in Innovation under the up to 25 million ringgit turnover tier. He will share the company's experience on the digitization journey, and under his leadership, Innov8tif Solutions has progressed from a self-funded enterprise software technology startup into a sustainable business that expanded its footprint from its home ground in Kuala Lumpur to Indonesia to Singapore and across Southeast Asia. So let's welcome Mr. George Lee and Stan. I'm so sorry for this little interjection. Back to you in the panel.
Thank you very much, Mara, for introducing George to us. George, welcome. Once again, allow me on behalf of all our panelists, our learner panelists, congratulate you on the award that you won, the SOBA award. Thank you so much. But George, before we go to the Spitfire questions, may I just maybe ask your experience? Maybe you can share in a couple of minutes your digital journey, what has transpired, so that you can share some experience with the audience that we have today. Go ahead, George. Over to you.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you for having me here. So our experience is a bit unique, because as you know, Innov8tif is also a digital provider, So we like to think of ourselves, it's like the mechanic who never fixed their own car. Many times you go to a mechanic and you see that their car is worse than the customers. So we are sort of in that situation for quite a long time because
interesting concept.
Yes. Well, I mean, you have to eat your own dog food, right? So you're a dog food manufacturer. So it's the same concept here, because what we find is that we are so busy thinking how to provide digitization services to our customer, we forgot about ourselves, But then when we look at the whole entire thing, then we realize that, look, guys, we need to grow the business. We can't do things the way that we are doing anymore. We have to find new ways to do it. Before COVID-19, we are so used to sending our team down to, different countries in the ASEAN region to get the business. But today you can't do that anymore. If you can't do full digitization way of selling, then you can't get there. So we look at various tools to get us there and to actually improve the team performance and, to also improve the business and all that. But for us, many of the challenges would be, we are SME, 40 over 50 people. We don't have someone to drive the whole thing. I can't be doing it as a CEO. I can drive it, I can give idea, but I can't do it full time on myself because I still got the other side of the business to take care. Neither do I have so-called internal champion or, chief digital officer that I can rely on. SME, we can't afford that. But what we can do internally, we realize as a very effective way is, first of all, we need to understand our staff. Our company are mainly very young people, the millennials and all that. It took us many years to understand these guys and how to work with them. Then we realize is that, these people need to have ownership into what they do. So if I were to say that, guys, we're going to do this and go and do it, I can tell you nothing will happen. People will just do it for the first few days and that's it. And I got no time to keep track of it. 3 months down the road, we are still the same, So we then take the different approach where we say that, okay, these are the first few things that we're going to do. It's not a digitization strategy or whatever, but these are the first few things we want to do because we see that it can immediately impact our business. So we take that, we get a core team of people and we say we do a POC. Sometimes
This is what, like Eugene was saying earlier about the low-hanging fruits, right? So you're targeting for that. So the easy win. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. And exactly, I think like what Kelvin mentioned earlier as was listening in also, your digital strategy is your business strategy, And when we look at that, we even go in, we do a POC, we try it out, we get the people down there involved. We bring them into a meeting and ask, guys, we want to do this. What do you think? Can you give us the feedback? Hey, let's try this for 1 week. Let's get a core group to try it. Simple example would be a real-time chat platform within the organization where we can securely share our files and all that. We did that, we look at multiple platforms and so on, but we find that when we do that, when people are involved, they will actually take up the process a lot better. And they will also feel that, hey, I'm part of this thing. When this thing works, they are also very proud of it. It's not just what the CEO say, right? It's also because it's a whole teamwork thing. Everyone from top to bottom is doing it. And of course, along the way, you get to hear what are the problems that sometimes I don't see when they are doing on the ground as well. Yeah, so I think this is pretty much how we take digitization, and it's working very fine for us in terms of our organization. But when we look at how do we deploy even our own technology to our customer, there are also some digitization way that we have to look at. We have to think about the future. All right, how will SME do their business in the future? How will customers behave after the pandemic? What are people asking out there? So more and more people are asking about contactless. But what can my solution do to provide SME with this? So these are also questions that we are asking. So again, I totally agree that it's our business strategy. It's not just digitization. Digitization is already your business strategy today. Yeah. So think internally, think externally, get your people involved. There's always trial and error. If it doesn't work, change. We need to be fluid today. I can tell you, our business strategy change every month. Yeah. So that's pretty much, how the digitization journey has been for us, and how we look at the whole entire thing.
Right. I think, George, we're kind of losing you a bit. We're losing a bit, George.
Yeah, can you hear me? I
can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how we look at the whole entire thing, internally, externally. How does this thing affect our customer? How can we go to more countries and do business without physically being there? Even though we are doing a software solution, we can't do e-commerce. I can't put my software on any of the e-commerce platform and sell. But even that, we have to find ways to basically reach the customer.
Right. I fully agree. I fully agree with you, George, and I fully subscribe to what you're saying. And I think I'm sorry, we're losing him up. George, we can't hear you. Sorry, your sound.
Can you hear me, sir?
Now I can hear you now. Go. Did you pay a bill? Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. Please forgive me. It's just one of those things.
Yes.
Sorry, George. Thank you. So, George, anyway, I think you said some very, very important things, George. I think it's important that your digital strategy, I think, Kevin, you mentioned, to aligns with your business strategy as well, so they have to go hand in hand, right? So that when you do things, it's almost like your own operational strategy that you want to implement in the business. I think good. Now, hold on to your chairs, guys, because I'm going for the Spitfire questions. I'm going to ask, and I'm going to ask you. You're going to say, answer with yes, or no, or disagree, whatever. But let's do it. And I like the audience as well. Very importantly, audience, to take note that as I read the questions in your own mind, answer them as you would freely. Very, very important. But that's the key. Okay, number one. You ready? Here we go. Digital is not the future, but the present. Agree, Dave?
Yes.
Right?
Agree.
Kevin?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Don't give me pain at this hour, guy. George, you agree?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Question two, important. It is time to accelerate the digital experience. Do you agree?
Yes.
Just say, I won't call your name. Just say yes or no.
Yes. Sure.
Very good. Excellent. Three, the pandemic has slowed growth, but has accelerated digitalization across industries. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes. No. Yes.
Yes.
Yes or no? No. Yes. What is this? Yes. No.
Yes.
Definitely yes.
This is a very important question. You may not know this, but let me share with you. Did you know that 95% of top Asia brands have not tapped their full digital potentials and are moving towards this? Did you know that?
No.
Right.
Do you think they have an opportunity to do it?
Definitely, for sure.
Very good. Number 5, digital transformation sets trends for the organization when it reinvents its ecosystem to accelerate growth through technology. Agree? Yes or no?
Yes. Agree. Yep. Agree.
Very good. Digitalization process is a journey, and with it comes many rewards, but few challenges. Agree or no?
Yes. Yes. Agree.
I have to qualify challenges and rewards. There are rewards, there are also challenges. Cannot be everything honky-dory.
Definitely.
This is an important question. With the introduction of 5G networks and its offerings, and with the help in the digitalization initiatives. Do you think this is going to help growth? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I look forward to that.
I didn't ask you to look forward. I just asked you yes or no.
I need to depart from the rest. Until we understand what 5G really means, I can't say yes or no, because we can't see the technology that touches the businesses yet at this stage.
I do agree, but usually let me jump in. If 5G, as we understand, of course we haven't seen it running, it's not live per se, but if we know the works of 5G, that it helps to accelerate the speed and connectivity and all that, if that is given, would you agree?
Second dimension would be the cost, because...
no, forget about cost right now. I'm just talking about the 5G networks. I'm not thinking about cost right now. Well, would you agree, if that was the case?
Of course. If,
okay, very good. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Thanks. Will I have agility and alignment in my business to scale after digitalization as transformation exercise? That means, can I scale? Can I align? Can I go with new strategies? Can I do that?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Very good. They say sometimes it takes a long time for new technology to take shape and gain widespread acceptance, which is true. If you look carefully at the IR 4.0, or Industry 4.0, we've been talking about it since 2017. We have not seen that acceleration here. So sometimes it takes a long time for new technology to take shape and gain widespread acceptance. How do you then convince business owners or SMEs for that matter? Is that a difficult one or easy one? Yes or no?
So sorry, Stan, can you?
Okay, let me answer it again. Sometimes it takes a long time for new technology to take shape and gain widespread acceptance. Okay? In this scenario, do you think it's difficult to convince business owners? They heard about it, but they don't know what it does, and it's all over the place. And a good example would be IR 4.0 or Industry 4.0 for that matter. That's been around since 2016, 2017, but we haven't really seen the full impact of it today. So do you agree that sometimes it's difficult? It's not because of the technology, but because of the acceptance, the awareness. Would you agree?
Agree. Yes.
Very good. That's all I was asking. The other thing is this, the myth in technology terms. Do you think there is enough folks out there in the business world that understands, or in the least is aware of these so-called technologies, big data, AI, IoT? Sometimes you find that when you talk these terms, people say, I'm going AI, I'm going big data, but they have no idea what exactly is all this stuff. Do you see this as a problem, the fact of awareness?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why we are here today.
Very good. Thank you, Kevin, for that. Just went over my head. The last one. Digitalization is a major driver of future competitiveness and innovation and helps push the business curve on trends and profitability upwards. True or false?
True.
Very true.
True.
Who says very true?
I did.
Why?
It's the way forward. There's no turning back. That's the way to go.
You agree, Dave?
Yes, absolutely.
Eugene, you agree, Eugene?
Yes, 100%.
I didn't ask for the percentage, but since you gave, I take it. Kevin?
Yeah, because the whole world is moving ahead, so we have to move.
Okay. Before we close, I'm going to give you, we're going to close, but please bear with me, audience. We're going to close in about exactly 5 minutes. Please bear with me because we did not have time to go over your questions. We do apologize because of time, because I think it's difficult sometimes when we have that many discussions on this very important subject. But let me just close with this. But before I close with this, I'm going to ask Dave, your last advice, or rather your last comments that you make, maybe take 10 to 30 seconds or something like that. Dave, your closing remarks.
Be customer-centric. And whatever that you do, just focus on who you're serving and how you want to serve them, and you will not go wrong.
Very good. So, whatever you do, you make sure you're always with the customer in mind, right? The end point is the customer in mind. Good. Rahim?
It is an exciting time for Malaysian businesses to take this opportunity right on the digital wave.
Okay, good. Kevin?
You can plan and you can strategize, but be bold enough to take the first step out first. I think that's important.
George, I'll give you the chance now to say something quick.
Make the digital strategy your business strategy. Get your team involved. Do small steps, trial and error. Don't worry about it and be fluid. Just keep changing.
So you are very philosophical. Yeah.
I have to. I provide digital solution. I have to.
Very good. 1,000 steps starts with the first step. I like that idea. Eugene?
As the CEO, you are also CDO number 1.
Okay, very good.
You have a CDO, then CDO number 2.
Okay, excellent. Let me just close with this thought. There's a very famous Chinese word which is called weiqi. It means calamity, but when you have a calamity, you also have an opportunity at the same time. You know, so it's kind of nice to see a silver lining in the clouds. The old norm versus the new norm. Now, let me just share with you one case very quickly, maybe in 2 minutes. Let me close with one case. What are the 2 famous brands that you can think of in your mind? If you go back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, and all that, what are the famous brands that you can see? Okay, if you ask anybody, Coca-Cola will be number 1, right? I mean, that will be one of the top brands. Agree with me? Yes or no? The other one is Kodak, right?
Yes.
Kodak. Even today, we still take a Kodak moment. Now, here's what I'm going to share with you. When Kodak started the business, Kodak was actually the market leader. 66% of the market share with 145,000 employees was handled by them. And they had something like 50.5 million market cap at the time. And then they had a competitor. The competitor was Fujifilm. Okay? This is when you are somewhere, when you are on a plateau, it is very important to do the curve, innovate, keep innovating. When you have plateau, innovate again. When you have plateau, innovate and increase. Because if you don't do that, somebody else will come and eat you over or take you over. So when Fujifilm came in, I'm going to use the date 1998, and I'll tell you why 1998. Because Kodak was in the business of making film and negatives, and Fujifilm came in with some other technologies in 1998, and they swept the market, and they took over with an 8.1 billion market cap in 1998. So Kodak went down. Once you're down, it's very difficult to go up again to innovate, okay? Out of nowhere, nothing to do with films and nothing to do with negatives, a company that came in 1998 and wiped out both Kodak and Fujifilm. You know who that company is? They're not in film, they're not in negatives. You heard of a company called Shutterfly? Shutterfly is a company that will say to you, have you got old photographs? Let us make an album for you. Take your old photographs. We'll make it a nice family book. Your photographs, we print on the cups for you. We do all that kind of thing. They came underneath and they saw it because they saw the opportunity. So when you are creative and innovative, you can take advantage of things that are out there, even when the competitor is fighting one another. So that's the story about disrupt or be disrupted. So I think in an age like this today, we need to look at something that will cause us in our own business to disrupt it. But when you disrupt it, please don't break it down and then you can't build it up again. When you disrupt it, make sure that you have the right tools, the people, and the strategy to work on, and the right partners to be able to make that happen. On that note, allow me to once again take this 1,000 thanks to thank my panelists, Dave, Rahim, Kevin, Eugene, and of course, George for making time, and thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for being with us, and thank you for the opportunity for me. But most of all, I'd like to thank the audience, and I hope that you have listened well and you've taken all the points, and hopefully this has been your journey to learn, to aspire, and to build your digital strategy. On that note, thank you so much for spending this afternoon with us. And now let me take this opportunity to pass back the mic over to Myra. Myra, over to you, Myra.